This winter is about to get a lot worse, as a record-shattering Arctic blast is expected later this week. This polar plunge may lead to a rare snowstorm that could impact millions. This is bad news for those still recovering from the major winter storm that slammed the United States this past weekend, which caused at least 49 fatalities. This weather pattern flip will be no joke, as it will shatter temperature records for millions. In fact, temperatures will even be colder than this past weekend across the eastern United States, with temperatures diving to record low numbers as far south as Florida. This could be life-threatening for those who were slammed by the crippling ice storm. But what makes this weather pattern just so different is that it could bring a very rare snow threat to areas near the Gulf Coast and the East Coast, with a very intense low-pressure system expected to form near the Carolinas. This could cause blizzard conditions from Florida to the Northeast if the storm track is just right. So in today's forecast, I'm going to break down exactly what you need to know about the major weather pattern flip that is about to impact the United States. And we have a lot to talk about in today's forecast, including a new emerging winter storm threat and yet again another Arctic blast that is going to be impacting the United States. And right now we still have bone-chilling air that is sitting all across the central and southern plains and back towards the East Coast. Many areas are still without power this morning, and in fact nearly 500,000 people are still without power, with the most of those being in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Tennessee. So extremely dangerous conditions are continuing there, with people that do not have power or heat in their own homes. As we go into Wednesday and Thursday, notice this large purple and white area back over in the Great Lakes and Canada. That is going to be the upper level low that just brought a bunch of snow and ice to the United States, and unfortunately it is going to unleash another powerful Arctic blast as we go into Thursday and Friday. And really right around Thursday night and Friday morning is when it's going to start to dive into areas like Wisconsin, Michigan, and then eventually by Friday and Saturday the most intense cold air is going to reach down towards the Gulf Coast, where there is even a possibility of some rare snowfall in areas maybe as far south as Florida, Georgia, South Carolina. But I do think our better chance of snowfall will be in the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast this weekend, where we could have a very powerful winter storm, but the storm track is going to matter a lot for who exactly sees snow. Now over the next 7 days we are going to experience some extremely cold weather, and even today we are still talking about widespread areas as low as 20 to 25 degrees below normal for temperatures, and it's encompassing almost anywhere east of the Rockies. And as we go into Wednesday and Thursday, things will improve if you're in areas like the central and southern plains and even back down to the southeast. Unfortunately, across the Ohio Valley and the Northeast, we will still have temperatures well below normal, but it gets a lot worse as we go into Friday and Saturday as that Arctic air unleashes, and this will lead to record-breaking cold across most of the United States on Saturday and Sunday, with many areas as low as 30 to 40 degrees below normal. So we are going to be talking about extreme cold, even down in Florida, where many areas will be as much as 35 degrees below normal, even back over near Port St. Lucie and Miami. We're going to be talking about some really intense cold air. By Monday and Tuesday, the first few days of February, it is going to remain very cold along the East Coast, but things will start to improve if you're in the northern plains and the Midwest, with temperatures returning to above average. Now, the temperatures over the next few days will be on a little bit of a roller coaster, as today we will have many areas in the southern plains and the southeast going to above freezing. Areas like Nashville will get to right around freezing, but keep in mind any ice that melts today and any liquid that's on the roadways will refreeze tonight, so that could cause more ice concerns as we go into tonight and tomorrow. Tomorrow morning it's going to be extremely cold in Ohio. Columbus going to be right around 3 degrees below zero, and then by Wednesday afternoon areas like Nashville will once again be on the fringe of even being above freezing. Snow will begin to really melt tomorrow across Oklahoma and Arkansas, so enjoy the snow while it's there. Thursday, a lot of areas in the Northeast and as well as the Midwest will be as much as 20 degrees below zero. Friday and Saturday is when it gets really extreme, with temperatures really dropping across the East Coast. And Sunday and Monday look to be the worst days of the week, with most of the Ohio Valley in the single digits, even as far south as Miami, Florida, being near freezing temperatures. And Monday will continue to remain extremely cold all up and down the East Coast. This winter pattern will even be worse than the Patriots and Broncos offensive performance back on Sunday. So again, very dangerous stuff here over the next several days, especially for those that did end up losing power. This is going to continue to be the trend at least for the next 7 to 10 days.